Hello, this is David Morgan, Arlington's Environmental Planner and Conservation Agent. March 5th, 2026 public meeting of the Arlington Conservation Commission will be conducted in a remote format, consistent with an act extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency, which further extends certain COVID-19 measures regarding remote participation in public meetings till June 30th, 2027. This meeting is being recorded and the recording may be made publicly available. Materials for tonight's meeting are at the link that I've just put in the chat. Please note that the Zoom chat feature may be used for questions and comments that contribute to the Commission's procedures. If it's used otherwise, may be disabled at the Chair's discretion. Public comment period will follow each hearing. We will not have any hearings tonight. Chuck Tirone is our Commission Chair. He'll facilitate tonight's meeting. Each vote taken will be done with a roll call vote. And we start with a review of the agenda and attendance. So to you, Chuck.
The time is 7:01 and the agenda for May 5th. We'll start out by talking about the meeting minutes and correspondence. We'll continue 66R Dudley. And we'll vote to release the escrow funds for 34 Dudley. We have our updates from our liaisons. And the hearings for the notice of intent at 10 Cottage Ave is being continued without discussion until March 19th. And the notice of intent for 26 Dudley Street is being continued without discussion until April 16th. And that's all for the agenda. We'll take a roll call vote. David White.
I'm here.
Mike Gildesgame.
Present.
David Kaplan.
Present.
Nathaniel Stevens.
Present.
And Chuck Tirone is here. Associate members Eileen Coleman. And I see that Eileen's here. And Sarah L. Ferro Franco.
Present.
Great. So our first item on tonight's agenda is a review of the minutes from our last meeting. And I'm not sure we're going to be able to approve these minutes because I was reading through them. And as we get down to that section, I'll mention what happened. But it's when we were talking about Arlington Coal and Lumber.
Okay. So it looks like Susan had done most of the edits on this one. David White also got in there with a couple of tweaks. And Susan had, oh yeah, well here we are on the coal and lumber thing. Those are her first edits. So Chuck, you want to weigh in on that?
Yeah, so my recollection where it mentions me is it makes it's that's not what I said. And I was trying to change it, but I had trouble doing that and I requested editing permissions and I didn't get them back before I left from work. So I have some edits. They would be easier to put in. It's almost rewriting that whole section. I could send them if you could try to figure it out, but if I had editing permissions, I think it would be easier doing it that way.
All right. In that case,
do you want me to read what I wanted to put in there? I just didn't prepare it for that, and it might sound clumsy.
we can wait. There's no rush on getting these approved. It's totally fine to revisit it.
I'll
Okay.
send you the link that you should be able to click the link and it gives you editing permissions from there.
Yeah, thank you. And it's just that that paragraph says that I thought it was a great idea that they use the land. And that's not the case. I said that, I started out by saying that, but I said that's not allowed. So anyways, I wanted to make sure that that was clear. My appeal to the owners saying that I feel for their position because it doesn't appear to be anything special, but wetlands aren't ranked through the WPA. So, okay, so I guess we're going to move on to correspondence and just to let everyone know that we received some correspondence from Thorndike and the flood maps have been changed in July. And this was noted by Dominic from BSC. And Dominic sent sent that message to the DEP reviewer. And so we've have that correspondence on the line, well, on our page, and people can look at it and see what it says. But essentially, we all learned a new term, I guess, de novo, and I guess that means you can take in information as you're reviewing the superseding order. And there's less fill in the flood zone. Is that how it's represented, David Morgan? Did you read that? There's less fill in the flood zone. That's how I read it.
They are, I don't know about Phil actually. It is, the change is that the floodplain, when FEMA modeled it, is less extensive on the site than it was under the prior map. So it's possible that they have less impact to BLSF.
Yeah, so that's how I read it. There was less impact, and there was a whole discussion from Clarissa Rowe and others asking if they could, I think Clarissa knew, but apparently this new information is able to be reviewed as part of the superseding order. So that's the last I was reading before I left work, and Nathaniel Stevens has his hand up.
Thanks. I was just trying to find the correspondence with the new system. I didn't see it in the Google Drive. And I don't know, it might be helpful if I'm the only one who hasn't figured out how to use the new agenda system on the website. I can do this offline later, but I don't know if other commission members have had success or even tried it. If we have time.
Yeah, we have.
David,
if you want to put it up or just
screen share
email it to
and do
everybody and then screen share. Yeah, that would be two good steps.
Just to show us how to get it, because the HTML agenda, I just got a blank page that said correspondence received, and nothing after that page.
Yeah.
It was just a title page.
Well, I'm not sure we want to put up everyone's email, but certainly the one from Dominic might be appropriate. And then let's see what David's got going on here.
Oh, there it is.
I just put it in the Google Drive folder, the
Okay.
email from Dominic.
Thanks, I'll look at it there. Just a FYI, because if we have future meetings and members of the public are trying to look on the website, I think it might be worth trying to straighten that out and understand how to use it so members of the public can in the future. That's all.
Definitely. And it looks like it arrived after hours Tuesday. So that would have, that's well after we have to post the agenda. So it was just not included in this packet, but we can get it in for the next one.
Yeah. So just so the commission knows, every time these come in, either myself or Susan, and David and Jackie are doing this anyways, but they always get a little tap on the shoulder from one of us to say, can you upload that as soon as possible and get it out? But I guess between our new system and the fact that they came in after hours, does everyone have it now or see it just so we can make sure? And then the public can also find it in the correspondence page for Thorndike Place. Good. All right. Well, if
meetings.
anyone wants to review it, we can come back to it, but I'm going to move on, although I do see Nathaniel giving it a look over. So under discussions, we have an enforcement order for 66 and 66R Dudley Street along with 993 Massachusetts Avenue. And so this has been continued until April 2nd, 2026 for an enforcement order. No vote is needed. And so we'll be moving on to the next item, which is a vote to release 34 Dudley Street escrow funds. So David, this is something you want to let us or update us on?
They didn't provide the materials that were requested at the last meeting in order to conduct this vote. So I have been playing phone tag with their representative, Eric from VHB, and there's no new development as a result. So I think we can hold this to the next meeting.
I'm gonna skip this one too. All right, I definitely want to get to the things that we were encouraged to have this meeting for. So moving right along, the update. So we have under updates, we have our liaison reports. So first one is the Water Bodies Working Group, and that's David White.
Well, the FinCom approved our budget request. So now it goes to town meeting. So we're moving along.
Great. Yeah, good job. All you guys put in a lot of work and effort, and I know there was a lot of emails last minute, but it sounds like you overcame all that and
And the
gave a
big
good
snowstorm too on
presentation.
Monday.
Yes, so yeah, you guys, great.
Worked out.
Good job. All right, so let's move on to CPA. I know that not David, yeah, Brian is not here tonight, so we're going to skip over the CPA report. And so we have a tree committee liaison report from Sarah Alfaro Franco.
There has not been a tree committee meeting since the last time we met. So there's one scheduled for next Wednesday.
Oh, great. All right, Sarah, thank you. And then I don't know if Nathaniel Stevens has a report from Sims Hospital.
Yes, or Sims Woods, the old hospital site. Just to
Yeah, you had to be
yeah.
only a couple of us would understand what I'm talking about. Okay,
Right,
yeah,
right.
Sims Woods.
Sims Woods, yeah. Still working on some encroachment issues and just wanted to get the commission's sense about a possible way to resolve, or I guess a way to handle one of the encroachments, which looks like it could be difficult and protracted and litigious. So the property owner is proposing this to us. The land trust hasn't given its okay. And I told the property owner and the management company that I wanted to get, I'd have to bring it to the commission before I agreed to it or we agreed to it. And that's dealing with one of the encroachments. I don't want to name addresses and stuff at this point because we haven't just because we're still negotiating. But just conceptually, if I just want to feel the commission if they would be amenable to allowing a fence to be into the conservation restriction area. It's on one end, it's 6 inches in on the other, and it's about 1.5 feet. And the fence is on the edge of a patio. Someone's patio goes encroaches a little bit. But the square footage area is about 52 square feet. So I think just, consider it conceptually, are we amenable to tolerating a small amount of encroachment for a short period of time? And again, we would require the property owner to acknowledge our rights, but it would last until they moved out of the property, I think is the proposal. Or are we just going to say, nope, doesn't matter. We want essentially a zero tolerance policy. So I just wanted to get people's thoughts on that.
Yeah, so we can be a little informal, it's fine, but I wanted to ask, you said a short period of time. Do you have any knowledge of action that may happen at this site?
No,
Or
no idea
yeah.
when the people would move. I have the sense that they have kids in the Arlington school, so it wouldn't be. It's not just a matter of years. It could be a decade or more potentially. It's my sense.
All right, I just don't, all right. So,
But it wouldn't be forever, I guess. But it would be
so there's an issue, they're encroaching. Have had discussions and they seem to be going nowhere. And they're
exactly,
saying,
yes. Yeah, have had discussions, and they've been hard to get hold of. Then the property owner has gotten their attorney involved. They're trying to reach the property owner's attorney and trying to work something out. But we're just sort of thinking ahead about, okay, this one's definitely a problematic situation. How much effort are we willing to put in for this level of encroachment, I guess. I guess that's really what it boils down to.
yeah, I would say, how does it make the people feel who actually abided by the rules and regulations and property lines
Right.
that
Yeah.
are working
Okay.
with us?
Yep.
So I believe I saw David White's hand up first. If not, you guys can let me know.
My first question was how much area is involved. I think Nathaniel answered that question pretty well.
Thanks. Yep. 52, about 50 square feet, as I recall.
Yeah, that's my first question. The second question is, this be recorded in the deed in some way?
I guess we probably would do that.
I think we
Yeah.
need to,
I
need to ensure
would
that
think
it
so.
doesn't get
Yeah.
forgotten about.
Good point. Yep. Good point. Yep.
And also, would they pay something for this use of our land?
That's a good point as well.
Okay.
Yep.
That's it.
Thanks.
I'm just guessing. Let's go with David Kaplan. Again, let me know if it's not correct.
But I think Mike had his hand up first. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, you're muted,
Muted.
Mike.
Yeah, very quickly, do we have a concern about the impact of the fence on the corner of the patio at all? In other words, is there any impact from their encroachment? And the second part of that question is, David mentioned something about payment. I mean, is there room here for an easement? Does that make any sense? So I guess those two questions.
Sure. Mike, I didn't quite understand your first question.
Is there
The impact, the impact would be, there would be pavement, 52 square feet approximately of pavement in the conservation restriction area, and then the fence at the edge of that pavement. I think the fencing is actually installed sort of into the pavement on its edge. That makes
the
sense.
pavement is currently on the conservation land, is that correct?
Yes, it's on the conservation land because it's the outer edge of their patio. So most of the patios on the homeowner's property, it just extends over and encroaches onto a conservation restriction area by 52 square, an area of 52 square feet.
So following on the earlier point about not lasting forever, at some point when they sell it, would there be language in the deed that says that they have to take out that 50 square feet of pavement?
And that would be one advantage of recording it. So it would be on record.
Right.
So I think David White has a good point about that. It wouldn't just be, because often when people grant these types of things, it's just a license. It's called a license, and it's not recorded. But I think you're right. This would be what we would call an easement for a period of years.
Yeah.
So there would be a time period on it. So, or it would be, it's if they sell, or we would maybe set like 10 years or something like that.
Is the alternate for that to go into litigation and force them to tear it up now?
Yes, that would be the worst case scenario, is we'd have to pursue it. And of course, the way it's structured is the town, the Conservation Commission, and the land trust would have to essentially sue the property owner who holds the CR to enforce the terms of the CR.
Yeah.
And then that would ideally prompt the property owner of Sims to sue this abutter. So
Right.
we don't have really necessarily have the right to sue the person directly.
Yeah, then you have to ask, what's the impact of removing that? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Good point. Yeah. Yeah. But I guess if we wanted it removed at some point, it would be there.
Right.
We would have that impact, right? So, okay. Thank you. Any other thoughts?
David Kaplan.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I'm just trying to picture the encroachment too. So you're saying, so the patio doesn't extend out further than the fence does. It's sort of, you're saying the fence is embedded in the patio and that's sort of a clear delineation and there's no opportunity to go past that point because the fence basically is the barrier between the patio and the conservation land.
Correct. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess I share Chuck's concern about precedent, making an exception for this, and then,
Yeah.
where do we draw the line? But it does seem like a de minimis impact that may not be worth a lot of time and effort and resources to fight. Also, I guess my other thought was you kind of explained it, but I just like how sure are we of this legal mechanism that would sort of guarantee the removal of this encroachment as the property changes hands? Are we more comfortable with that mechanism than any other that we could possibly explore? I mean, are we sure that I guess that this mechanism would resolve it when the time comes?
Good point. Yeah, thanks. I think one advantage of having it recorded is then the buyer couldn't say, "Oh, I didn't know about it," because as soon as you record it, it's on note. You're what we call constructively on notice. So even if the person didn't bother to go to the registry of deeds, we could say, "Well, too bad. You, as a matter of law, you were deemed to have notice, even if you didn't have actual notice." And that's the
Right,
advantage of
but
recording.
you're not writing language in there like the sale is contingent upon the removal of the encroachment. It's just passed along to the next owner, and
Correct.
then it's up to us to enforce that later.
Right. Yes. So we would write the document so that independently the land trust, the Sims property owner, or the Conservation Commission could seek enforcement of having that removed.
Okay. Yeah, I don't necessarily see that being. Yeah, I can see us being at the same point with another landowner 20 years down the line too. Doesn't seem like it has a lot of teeth.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yep. Okay, no, that's a good thought, and I'll consider if there's other legal mechanisms to do this. Yeah.
So I would.
Yeah,
I would,
maybe one
just-
thought is do an escrow, right? That might behoove the current owner. Essentially, we would say, okay, give us 20,000 now. You can leave it there, but when you move, and then we'll give you back the money. Yeah, that might be an incentive, but if it's in 30 years, that might not be worth the cost. But
That's the first idea that sounds like it may work. So I think that I would, we're doing 20 questions here, but I'm also
Thanks.
concerned. I think that I could add into David Kaplan's thoughts about saying we're mobilized now. We have people looking at it. If any work needs to happen, that's lined up also. That's a now thing. That's a future, like in the near future thing. This is going to be a one-off situation 10, 15 years from now. And it could be something that no one wants. It's just not worth the amount of time for one property. I can see that happening. I like the 20,000 if that would pay for all the legal bills. But whatever the escrow is, it should cover all the legal bills and work required that to put this back in shape. My other thought is, I'm not sure. I think I remember the spot, but I'm not sure what it would take to move this area. Is it a, solid foundation wall, a lot of constructions? There's just some sort of homeowner project where a weekend or maybe a week you could actually move everything back and there's really no harm, no foul. You're just losing that amount of pavement.
yeah, but if you remember the guy Adam Post, who's come to some of our meetings, he's the property manager and he's sort of in charge of he would be the one who would have to deal with this encroachment. He says that it's mostly, he thinks it's just a matter of cutting cutting the edge of the pavement, essentially cutting through the patio and then pulling the fence and the fence posts out. So there's no foundation, is my understanding. It's just patio. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does, because my question was really how complex is this process going to be? And it sounds like someone's thought about it, and then they described it as pretty simple.
Yes, it's simple. It's simple. I think it's more psychologically major. If you were a homeowner and had your patio out there with a fence at the edge of it, and someone came and sawed off the edge of your patio a foot and a half, you'd be upset. So
I guess I would, but I'd wonder how I got into that position. I
right.
don't know, not pointing fingers, but he could have bought the house in that situation, and it's a surprise. So I can understand that certainly. I would, if I had a choice, and I would say that I would think that we're mobilized to do this now. I would really hate to start this train up again in 10 years for one property. I don't know if we're making a choice now, but that's kind of where I'm landing.
No, I'm just
with the
getting
information I have.
feedback. Yeah, feedback, different ideas. Thanks. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, thanks. I just wanted feedback at this point to bring it back to the group for consideration. So I will represent to the commission, to the working group, that there's a range of opinions on this. As is often the case with us, right?
So we offer to move the fence for them and do the work for them?
Yes, I don't think money is an issue. It's more a matter of principle. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. It's our principle too. It's not their land.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
We've done this before.
Money's not the issue for these folks, I don't believe.
Well, all right, let's get on to the next thing.
Thank you.
I mean, I think I heard more maybe and mostly no's than we can make some accommodation. So I hope that's what you're representing. So
and I'll check with Susan. Yeah, I think I discussed it with Susan as well. I'll double check with her. Thanks.
So this is the last one, huh? This is the last encroachment?
The last encroachment that we don't have a plan for. The other ones, the snow has put a damper on actually doing the removal work for the other encroachments. But they're trying to line it up for late spring.
Okay, they're in process.
They're in process. Yep. And no update on the forest management plan. There's Dan Cathcart is still trying to get another bid, so he has a comparable for the bid that he wants to go with.
Okay.
And sorry, one last question, because David made me think of one more. What's the timeline on this, and who has the final? Does the Conservation Commission have the final say, or we are one of others that would decide what to do? In other words, is this up to us?
Forest management plan?
No, encroachment.
Going back to encroachment?
Yeah.
No, it's just getting the encroachments removed. There's not really much to decide on the other encroachments.
No. I'm asking you, who has the final say to move forward with this encroachment? You asked us if we would like it removed, or if we can live with it.
Yes. Yes, we will come back to if we don't get a resolution or a plan to get the thing removed, and the owner and the property management company want to try to resolve it by allowing this encroachment to stay for a period of years or period of time, then I will come back to the Conservation Commission.
So it's the owner's decision.
It's the owners and the property owners. I guess that's one way to put it.
I'm just wondering where the Conservation's decision is in all this. We don't have one.
You will. Well, I'm going to say, I believe I'm acting on behalf of the Conservation Commission now to get all the encroachments resolved. So if we can't get this one resolved soon, I'll definitely be back to you to make a decision. which would be, how are we going to press forward? How are we going to resolve for this one? But,
Okay.
hopefully
So
we
be
can
on
get it
the
resolved.
agenda if it's
Yeah,
unresolved.
Yeah, I'll keep you guys updated on that if we have any progress.
So
I
it
guess
would be
either way.
good at that point that we get some notice and we can put you, at the top, give you some time,
Okay,
so
thanks.
a
Yeah,
bigger discussion could happen.
sure.
So if that needs
Okay.
to be the way we would go.
Yeah, and David's
Okay.
been on some of the David Morgan's been on some of the calls with me as well. So he'll, if I forget to do that, he'll remind you.
Sounds good.
Thanks,
All
everyone.
right.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Nathaniel.
thank you. Yeah. David, do you have a recreation department update? Considering,
Not from rec. We'll meet again in a week from tomorrow, actually.
okay. And I guess this town select board meets Tuesdays, and I guess the recreation department was meeting the select board on Tuesday, and I'm just, from what David just said, I think he knows nothing about that. So that may be something Susan was going to attend. We'll find out what happened. I, I mean, it was quite clear to me that everything that we asked for is happening. It just didn't have a firm date. It said like spring instead of an actual date. And I was okay with that because they were still formulating those dates and getting things together. So Susan was going to attend that meeting and I was not. Yeah. Okay. Uh, I think we're moving on to these two hearings unless I've forgotten something. Any hands on that? Okay. So we have two hearings tonight, both are being continued. I'll do a quick job at reading just intro. So notice of intent for 10 College Ave. And the Conservation Commission will hold a hearing to consider a notice of intent for a construction of addition in a single family home. Areas proposed to be altered include the riverfront area associated with Alewife Brook. The Conservation Commission will be continuing this at the applicant's request to March 19th, 2026 without discussion. Can I have a motion?
Sorry, Chuck, is this opening the hearing or is this a continuation from the last hearing which I missed?
This one here, you're right, we need to open it. The second one was a continuation. So let's open this hearing and then continue it.
At the applicant's
So
request.
I'm not going to read that again, but can I have a motion to open the hearing? All right.
Or
we do
motion to
that.
continue. I just wanted
Yeah.
to clarify if this was something that was heard last time, more in case I needed to go back and watch it. But okay, thanks. So I'll make a motion
No.
to continue to
Thank
March,
you.
April,
March 19th.
March 19th. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, March 19th. Can I have a second?
Second,
So Mike Gildersleeve. So David White,
Yes.
David Kaplan,
Yes.
Nathaniel Stevens,
Yes.
Mike Gildersleeve,
yes.
and Chuck Tirone says yes. So that's been continued. The next one is a DEP file number, and this is a continuation from December 18th, 2025. So DEP file number 190375, notice of intent for 26 Dudley Street. The Conservation Commission hold a public hearing to consider a notice of intent to demolish a detached structure, construct two additions to a commercial structure, and repave parking lot at 26 Dudley Street. Areas proposed to be altered include the outer riverfront area associated with Mill Brook. So the Conservation Commission will continue this hearing to April 16th, 2026 at the applicant's request. I have a motion to do that.
So moved.
So I'm going to go with,
Dave Kaplan.
who did it? David Kaplan?
I'll defer to David Kaplan. Yes.
All right, David Kaplan. He's getting quick. All right,
Well
second.
done.
Second.
Oh, there you go. David White,
Yes.
Mike Gildersleeve,
Yes.
David Kaplan,
Yes.
Nathaniel Stevens,
Yes.
And Chuck Teroni says, yes, that hearing is continued to April 16, 2026. So just moving on, it's on the agenda. So is anyone here, which I don't think so, but for citizens open forum, seeing no hands, moving on, any new business from the commission or anyone attending tonight's meeting?
I'm going to ask, maybe for the fourth time, guess what I'm going to ask about?
Pay, I don't know, getting paid.
Yeah,
Mount
that
Gilboa.
David gets the prize.
Yeah. We should, yeah, at some point we should have a meeting about it and let the neighbors know.
Just saying, we spent a lot of CPA funds on a feasibility study, so I don't know if we
Oh, Mount
want to act
Gilboa.
on
What do
Mount
you,
Gilboa.
yeah, so, all right, so let's be clear. What do you want to see? What do we need to talk about at our meeting prep? Do you want to see it on the agenda? Do you want to see a next step? Do you have a next step that we should be addressing?
I
I'm not sure
think
if the next steps or not. I'm not sure where we stand on it.
we
So,
got the report. We were briefed. My recollection is we were briefed on the conclusion of the study. They had two or three possible scenarios that we could pursue,
Possibilities, yeah.
possibilities, and it really comes down to remove the house or leave the house there or do something else with the house. So I don't know. I'm surprised the town manager hasn't been pressing for it because I think it is a cost to the town to
Yeah,
keep it there without it being
it's a bit
utilized.
elephant.
So I don't know. But I just feel like we had the feasibility study. We sort of have an obligation to either, I guess, bring it to some sort of conclusion. I feel in my mind, it's just hanging out there. We had a study done, made recommendation, it came up with some possibilities of what to do with it because the commission, that was the purpose why we commissioned
We involved the public
study.
too
Yeah,
in
we
those
involved the
studies.
public. Yeah.
So I think we should involve the public again when we bring it up. And maybe wait till springtime when people can actually visit the site more easily.
Good point.
David Morgan, do you have any kind of formulated kind of path forward about Mount Gilboa and how to bring us from where we are to a conclusion based on what you heard tonight?
It's the commission's property, so it's at your discretion which scenario you choose to advance, if any of them. And we could gather on
Well, I
site.
think all
in
three of them would
springtime.
need some public input, right? So I don't know if we're
Yeah,
at
and I
that
think
point.
also
I'm not sure if,
Commission had issues as well.
yeah, are we re-engaging the consultants? Does it need that? Can we, I mean, it's just, it's kind of unclear to me where you guys want to go. I mean, it seems like
I
we have
don't
these
think
three
we need to
possibilities.
engage. I don't think we need to engage the consultants as much. I think it's the commission had the consultants presented their almost final version. Then excuse me, then we received the final report and it was handed to the commission to help the commission make a decision as to if what it would like to do, if anything, with the parks,
I think we
with
need,
that Mount Gilboa. So maybe
I
we
think we
need
need to
to.
engage the public again so people can express their views on what should be done there.
Are we at that point, or are we at the point where we need to just make a decision and then engage the public on what
I'm not sure we're
our
at the
decision
decision
is?
point yet. I mean, I have a decision, but I'm not sure.
Where would the
It's-
public be engaged, in a separate forum or right here at the Conservation Commission meeting?
At the commission is the easiest thing, I think.
Okay,
Yeah, I think we have the
okay.
options provided by the consultant. I think that perhaps a discussion among the commissioners about which ones we may want to favor and why, and then bring that to the public, or to a meeting of the commission.
Yeah. And would
I
we
agree with Mike.
advertise? I think that might be important to send out some
Yes, I
advertisement
would
in
think
that
so.
Sure.
area.
Definitely advertise.
Yeah,
Okay, so what if we did this? We asked David or Jackie, or David and Jackie, to um, brush up on everything that happened.
Review the materials.
We want you to give a summary at this meeting that we're going to have, but we also want to invite the neighborhood, whatever the abutters list was at the last time, And then, so in other words, you would be like the consultants giving a summary of the whole project and laying out the options. And at that point, the Conservation Commission would take over and talk about it. And then we would bring in the, any residents that has some comments, and then the commission would continue it. David, what do you think about that? David Morgan, what do you think about that idea? And I'm not saying next week or
No,
next meeting.
not a month or two, I think. I wait till the warmer weather and people can actually get engaged more.
We had extensive public engagement through the feasibility study.
Yeah, and they wonder what happened afterwards.
And I think that it's appropriate to bring it back to the neighborhood, but I would ask the commission to have their deliberations, your deliberations, ahead of bringing it back to the public.
We could do
In other
that.
words, we would pick what option we would like to do and then bring it back to the public?
Yes.
Or we might come up with two options and then decide.
Yeah,
Yeah, have a preferred
preferred option, yeah.
Good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we might work.
I think we certainly have plenty of slides and things. I mean, David Morgan
Materials.
materials that the consultant left.
Does anyone on the commission need a summary of this project before they discuss? I mean, I guess something small would work, but we wouldn't possibly need David to do that. We can just talk about it. I think Nathaniel Stevens attended all the meetings, and so did David White. I'm not sure if anyone else did. And we could get that information from those two, or do you want to have David and Jackie do a presentation, and then we would have our own discussion?
I think a 1 or 2 pager at most would be very helpful for us as the basis for discussion. Taking no more, I think a 1 pager would probably provide the options that the consultant provided. I don't think we need extensive paper.
Okay.
Maybe
And again,
access to the reports.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should, right. And I don't think even David needs to create anything. I think, again, look, I think there's a short PowerPoint that could be circulated, which people could read within that period of, it would take you to read a executive summary.
Right.
My recollection is that there was a simple 3 or 4 slide thing that lays out the options with the nice graphics. So
yeah, I think we should talk about it among ourselves.
But I think it would be helpful to have spend a minute or two at the beginning just to go through those slides so everyone's on the same page.
Yeah.
During the discussion, because it's been a while. It's been a
while.
Yeah.
All right. Does anyone think the first meeting in May is too long for this first option that we just talked about? Or do you want to bring it back into April?
May is good.
May's good. All right, David. So what we're asking for is, it does still sound like you're going to be, and I would ask you to do this anyway. So when the meeting starts, I'm going to ask you to give a summary. You're going to talk about the slides. You're going to prepare 1 or 2 page summary for the commission, put everything up there. Act as if you're the consultant, bringing the commission up to date, and be ready to field questions. And at that point, and of course, we're going to put it on the agenda. And if people are here, we'll hear their input. But we won't be advertising in the paper or sending out any kind of like legal notice or invitations until after this meeting, and we decide when to bring it back to the commission, which I think we're going to be into like maybe vacation time. So, maybe it's in the fall. So with that, can you or Jackie make a quick note with some of or all of what I just talked about? Because that will be a topic to talk about at our meeting prep. Okay, so we want to make sure that we bring Susan up to date and it's written down somewhere so we don't forget it.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
I know Jackie's been taking minutes, so I'm sure it's captured.
All right, Jackie,
we also have the recording.
Great.
Thanks. Thank you.
All right. Speaking of the recording, David, I know you sent me the last recording to review but when I looked for it, it was gone. So if you could send me the last meeting's recording again, that would be, so it's at the top of my email. I'd really appreciate it. All right, so that was new business. Anything else? I think that's good. I think finally Mount Gilboa will be is at least back on the agenda.
Timely.
Yeah, yeah. Any other comments or new business?
Well,
Seeing none. Oh, sorry.
Susan did pay me a lot of money to try to not let you beat her record. So I've got to think of a topic. I have to filibuster, for another, 45 minutes. So you
This is much
jump
longer
past.
than I expected, but it
It's
went
not
by
too long.
quickly. Yeah, it went by quickly. It was good,
All right.
good discussion. Okay, so are we all set? Does anyone want to make a motion to adjourn?
So
I'll move to
moved.
adjourn.
So moved.
Yeah, so get a second, somebody, Nathaniel second. All right, just wave your hand and we're all good.
Good night.
Unanimous. Good night, everyone.